Welcome to NDJWonders, a channel under NDJProductions. Today, we're exploring a psychological illusion that shapes your daily life more than you realize. It's something you've felt in classrooms, offices, crowded streets, and quiet conversations. It's called the spotlight effect, and it was first documented in 1999 at Cornell University. It reveals a strange truth about the human mind. We believe the world is watching us far more than it actually is. And this simple error quietly influences decisions, fears, and even our memories. The discovery began with an unusual experiment. Volunteers were asked to walk into a room full of strangers wearing an embarrassing t-shirt. Some wore a shirt with a large celebrity face. Others wore shirts with awkward slogans. After walking through the room, each participant estimated how many people noticed what they were wearing. The results shocked everyone. The participants' estimates were nearly double the real number. People thought the room's attention was fixed on them. In reality, most observers barely remembered a thing. The mind creates a false spotlight, a mental illusion that convinces us we're under constant scrutiny. But there's more. When researchers repeated the study with different situations, public speaking, simple mistakes, or awkward moments, the same pattern appeared. People believed others were watching closely, judging heavily, and remembering clearly, but observers forgot the details almost immediately. This reveals something important. Humans are wired to overestimate how much attention they attract. It's a psychological bias shaped by evolution, survival instincts, and to understand this better, we need to look at the origins of the phenomenon. The spotlight effect emerges from a combination of introspection and social sensitivity. Humans constantly monitor their own thoughts and actions because our brains evolved to detect threats and avoid social mistakes. Our awareness of ourselves is high, but we mistakenly assume others are paying attention with the same intensity. We project our inner world outward, and because of that, we think every flaw, misstep, or imperfection is visible to everyone around us. However, the real surprise comes next. The spotlight effect doesn't just distort how we think others see us, it also changes how we remember our own experiences. When something embarrassing happens, the memory becomes amplified. We replay the moment over and over, convinced it left a lasting impression on everyone who witnessed it. But research from Stanford University showed something counterintuitive. People recall their own awkward moments far more intensely than anyone else does. Observers forget quickly. They have their own worries, their own fears, their own spotlights to manage. What happens afterward is even stranger. The spotlight effect affects decision-making. It stops people from taking opportunities, expressing opinions, or trying new activities. A person might avoid asking questions in class because they fear sounding inexperienced. Another might hesitate to speak in a meeting because they imagine coworkers analyzing every word. Someone may avoid dancing, singing, or joining a new group because they fear judgment that rarely exists. The mind exaggerates exposure and predicts humiliation, even in harmless situations. But the spotlight effect doesn't always create fear. Sometimes it creates emotional distortion. For example, when someone feels proud, they may overestimate how much others notice their success. They might assume people are paying attention to their new achievement, new skill, or new look. Yet even in moments of pride, others notice less than expected. This imbalance can create misunderstandings, hurt feelings, or false expectations. The spotlight shines both ways, and both sides can trick the mind. To understand the power of this illusion, researchers examined it in high-pressure environments. They tested athletes before competitions, performers before shows, and students before exams. They found that the spotlight effect intensifies with stress. When someone is worried, their brain magnifies how visible their mistakes seem. A basketball player who misses a shot may believe the entire crowd is focused on their failure, even though most people barely register the moment. A musician who slips on one note might imagine the audience replaying the error in their minds. When, in truth, the sound vanishes instantly into the performance. However, the real impact of the spotlight effect appears in everyday life. One study tracked how people reacted when they spilled drinks, tripped on sidewalks, or forgot small details in public. Participants believed dozens of people noticed. Observers barely remembered the incidents. These simple moments reveal the truth. Most people are too focused on their own lives to carefully monitor anyone else's. The mind fabricates attention that doesn't exist. But the story doesn't end there. Researchers also explored how cultural differences shape the spotlight effect. In some cultures, people report higher sensitivity to social judgment. In others, individuals feel more freedom to act without fear of embarrassment. Yet the spotlight effect appeared in every culture studied. It varied in intensity but never disappeared completely. This suggests that the illusion is universal. What's even more intriguing is how the spotlight effect interacts with memory. Neuroscientists studied brain activity during embarrassing recollections. They found that the brain treats these moments like minor threats. The amygdala shows increased activity, as if preparing for danger. This intensifies the memory, making it feel more significant. The brain marks these events as noteworthy, even when they are trivial. Meanwhile, observers do not encode the moment with the same emotional weight. This imbalance fuels the illusion, making us believe others are still thinking about something long after they've forgotten. But there's another twist. The spotlight effect weakens with age. Older adults generally report lower fear of embarrassment, lower sensitivity to judgment, and lower anxiety in social settings. Researchers suggest this happens because experience reveals a simple truth over time. People learn that most strangers forget things quickly. Most friends forgive mistakes easily, and most judgments are fleeting. Wisdom softens the spotlight, reducing its grip on the mind. Still, the spotlight effect has benefits. In some cases, it encourages, so it can motivate people to behave responsibly, present themselves confidently, and respect social norms. It's not entirely harmful. The illusion only becomes a problem when it grows too strong, when it stops someone from speaking, expressing themselves, or trying something new. It becomes a cage built from imagined attention. As we move through life, the spotlight effect shapes the stories we tell ourselves. It makes small moments feel large. It makes ordinary experiences feel dramatic. It magnifies fears, doubts, and insecurities. But the truth behind the illusion remains simple. People see far less than we think. They judge far less than we fear. And they remember far less than we imagine. Understanding this doesn't erase self-consciousness overnight, but it offers something powerful. It offers perspective. The world is not watching as closely as your mind suggests. The spotlight is smaller, dimmer, and quieter than you believe. And when you realize this, something changes. You speak more freely. You act more boldly. You step into life with a little more courage because you know the stage is not as crowded with eyes as you once thought. If you enjoyed this video, visit the links below for more content from NDJ Productions and NDJ Wonders.